Wherever you are in the world, welcome to Bronchiectasis Must Go channel. I haven't done a live for a few days because I did a lot of blogging or vlogging during my IV treatment, so I needed a little bit of break from thinking about bronchiectasis, thinking about lung disease, thinking about treatment, thinking about life. It's coming into an important time of everybody's life, Christmas time. This is where you get a lot of arguments. This is where you get a lot of love. This is where you get a lot of gifts. This is where you get a lot of neglect. So I did get a message today off Nocturne, just asking how I've been. So I give him a little update. I did tell him that straight after my IV medication, I had a day break from it. When I say day, Nocturne, I'm talking about you, mate. So I had a day break off any treatment. I think that was even any nebulized medication. And normally I go into like some kind, I won't call it a depression, but it might be a little mini depression that I have, or a mini realization that to have a okay life I need to rely on antibiotics. So because of that I have like a switch off in my brain where I say, no, I can go a week, I can go 2 weeks. I know my own body. When I start struggling, I'll go back on the nebulized antibiotics. And I've done this throughout my IV cycles for the last 3 years. And it's not wise. It's not wise. I just feel like I need some normalization to my life, and just without any medication. When I say any medication, I mean anything to do with the lungs. So trialing this method out hasn't worked. It really hasn't worked. So what I've done straight on the gentamicin, and I've done 2 doses, which is morning and night. And then there might have been a couple of times, I think 1 or 2 times, that I only did 1 dose. Tonight, if I do no doses at all, will be the first time I've slacked. So I've got the mask downstairs, I've got the medication upstairs. So I don't see why I can't, just get at least 1 dose in tonight before the night's out. So I think by doing this live now, it's encouraged me, to keep going ahead with the medication. What I will say is, since I've introduced this back in, which is a steroid inhaler and the nebulized treatment, I feel like sometimes, say for instance, I'm eating a sandwich, even just something basic as a little bun sandwich, cheese, even with a drink, I find like it gets stuck in my throat. So that's a side effect. That's a side effect of medication, steroid medication. Now, there's a way of counteracting that. It's by swirling your mouth out with warm water, isofia, swirling your mouth out and spitting it. But I've come to the realization that this is causing the problem. Can I get a shout out, please? Yeah, of course you can. Shout out to everybody that tunes in, but especially Nocturne, who's commented tonight, and Sophia. Poo. That is quite an intellectual vocabulary. Can you DM me that, Corey? So yeah, me chest health is since the antibiotics hasn't been too bad, hasn't been great. I mean, I've had to do a lot of mucus clearance today. I don't really have much of a wheeze, so I'm pretty happy. I will say today I felt tired. Whether that just means I need to rest a bit, I don't know. But out of all the days today, I felt a bit tired. I have chronic diarrhea. I do, mate, sometimes. Sometimes I have chronic diarrhea or chronic constipation, you know what I mean? Sometimes, yeah, Docky say it's good for the chronic constipation. No, I don't really play games, mate. I think maybe 2 years ago, if you asked me, I would say I like to play the Xbox on Pro Evolution Soccer. But it's like tonight, I'm struggling with my voice. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, I find that. So anyway, less about me. We'll talk about one of our moderators. She's not too well at the moment. I did update you last. I actually went to the hospital with her the other day. What happened is she's not getting taken seriously. Nothing's really flagging up in regards to sputum cultures are coming back negative. the CRPs, which is your infection markers, are in the normal range. The only thing that's showing up with the moderator is her heart rate is quite high. It's tachycardia, which means it's over 100 beats per minute, whether it's at rest or doing exertion. And what's happening on exertion, and you're talking minimum exertion, so that could be from moving slightly, going a few yards, her oxygen levels are dropping, and they're dropping as low as 89, which at 89, 90, you require some kind of oxygen. Um, so it's been very, very difficult time of her life and mine, because I'm very close to this person. So we took her to a chest appointment, and I don't know how to word this. She's not a chest specialist, but she's working on the behalf of a chest specialist. So she's more of a advanced chest practitioner, but she's passed a lot of medical exams to be where she's at, and she agrees that the moderator is definitely showing signs of something, whether that is, a bad progression of lung disease, which has gone from severe asthma, severe bronchiectasis to very, very severe. So people that know who I'm talking about, if you can put something in the comments, just to keep it going, just to, it's not the end, because I've been in a very similar position many years ago, um, where no one took me serious, where I had to go to, accident emergency to be told I'm not dying, I'm not having chest pain, things like that. Don't keep coming. We can see that you keep coming here in the last year. So I feel like she's in the same kind of boat I was. So what's happening moving forward is she's got a bronchoscopy, which is very, very risky at this point in her life, just because she suffers with the oxygen side. When I say I don't really, I'd be lying, because if I have an infection or things like that, I also suffer. But when I had my bronchoscopy, I didn't require oxygen. When I got back to the resting bay, I had like an oxygen sat on my finger, and it kept beeping and beeping and beeping, where it was going very low, but I didn't require oxygen. Now, the moderator of the channel, she will probably require oxygen, guys, throughout the procedure. I'm guessing she'll probably have to stay in for 24 hours, just because how bad her bronchiectasis and asthma is. So if people can say a prayer for this person, please do, and I'll update you. Yeah, Jesus, I love you. Thank you very much, God. He loves you too. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble all night. I'm just going to tell you where I am. It's coming up to Christmas. I did say this year I'm not going to stress myself out, as in what I can give, and what I can't. I'm not in control of that. Obviously, I'm not in control how people think and feel about me. All I can do is give what I have, and what I don't have, I can't give. So yeah, it's a very worrying time, Nocturne. Just because one of the specialists, like the chest specialist of the moderator, has gone against it. Really has gone against the bronchoscopy. What she said is she's willing to do a CT scan, but with a CT scan, all that's going to really show is the deterioration of the lung disease and how it's progressed. But a bronchoscopy is where they get a camera and they go down, but they're also able to take scrapes of the lungs, which is mucus. They can also take biopsies if they see something that looks cancerous. They can also wash the lungs while they're in there. So basically, like a jet spray of the lungs. So she's willing to take that risk. I really don't want her to, but then again, when you're very, very low with this lung condition and no one's taking you serious, you feel like crying. I've been there myself where I've actually cried, you know what I mean? So to see the moderator cry today and the last few days, I feel what she's been through, because I've been through it myself. Yeah, and when you know there's something, clinically wrong with you, and these specialists can't give you the answers, the people that you believe in and you trust in And yeah, you have a huge problem psychologically and physically because you know these are the people to take care of you for the rest of your life throughout your progression of your lung disease, and it's a very scary time. It really is a very scary time. So all I can do is give her my positivity. I can say based on what I think and what I know, I'm re- you know I'm no PhD, certified lung doctor, but I can almost rule out lung cancer because with lung cancer, you're talking, these are the three main things. Are you coughing up a lot of blood? The moderator isn't. She's brought little speckles from time to time. Number two is you can normally smell cancer. So whether it's even a brain tumour, I've heard nurses tell me they can smell the cancer. So if you've got lung cancer in the mouth, the tongue, the throat, or the lungs, when that person speaks, you're going to smell a very, very rotten smell, which I'm not smelling. Um, the person isn't really losing dramatic weight. So, based on what I know, I'm trying to reassure this person that I don't believe it's lung cancer. Now, obviously, there's possibilities that it could be. So I can't just be, bone idle and say it's not that. But I'm just trying to reassure this person. My mother had COPD. And it was heart disease to manage. Yeah, it can be, mate. It can be. It depends what type of COPD she had, because most people say, "Oh, these people can live a normal, active lifestyle, life," and it's further from the truth. But at the same time, we do need to encourage people. You know, even if we see them declining or less mobile, we still need to encourage them. Like, come on, you used to do this, you used to do that, you used to do this. And eventually, when they're having a good day, then you might subliminally, they might think of them words, even though when you said it, they're not thinking as a positive thing, they're thinking more of a negative thing, like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that. But I guarantee you, because I've seen it myself, when they are having a good day, you'll see them do something. Whether it's something that they like to cook, like to read, like to do, you'll see it. And then that's where you act on that and say, see, I told you could do it. Even if you don't do it every day, look at you, wow, that whatever you've done's fantastic. That meal was beautiful. Remind me like the old days. These are the little things that people need to do. But we certainly can't, see him decline, see him struggle, and allow him to just struggle and live that way. Because there's only one path, and it's a very true saying. When you stay in bed and stay in your chair, you are slowly dying, and I believe it to be true. It's a battle. You must encourage them and help them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what you got to remember is, not everyone has your willpower. Not everyone has your mindset. Um, Not everyone's been where you've been, and you haven't been where they've been. So it's a different perspective. Yeah, it's a different perspective. So you got to understand theirs, but you've also got to not allow them to make too many excuses. Where you say, okay, you're fine to give up on yourself. I'll agree with you, and I'll let you give up on yourself, because if you really love this person, you will keep giving and giving and giving until you realise that nothing you can say or do will change their outlook on this terrible lung disease they have, or whatever disease it is. So yeah, that's about it. Any more questions before I go? And I want to thank all the subscribers I get, guys. Even if you just come on here to joke around or whatever, and then you find me a little bit interesting, or you find the channel interesting. We are at 341 subscribers, and we think we was at 229 a few weeks ago. So the channel's slowly growing. It is slowly growing. Yeah, you must keep your spirits up. I've just seen that. That's absolutely very important. And I say to anyone that's going through this or going through a bronchoscopy, if you've not been through a bronchoscopy, just be mindful of, say for instance, you struggle with your coughing and you have loads of coughing episodes, well, it's going to be tenfold that. So what you need to do is prepare yourself for the worst choking fit you're going to have on this earth, and just try and meditate through it. Now, when you go through the procedure, I'll run you through the bronchoscopy procedure and then I'll end it. So what happens is, normally you wouldn't get a bronchoscopy because everything that you bring up in a sample will show something or not. But it's when you keep, you know, coming to A&E, being discharged by A&E, being put on a certain antibiotic, taking it, not feeling any better, and then you go to your chest specialist and you tell him all this, like there's something going on. The chest specialist will look at everything. So he'll do a new CT scan just to rule out things haven't progressed, but he'll send you for a bronchoscopy. So that bronchoscopy is to find out, are you culturing something in your lungs that is not showing up in the lab? And this what happened to me. So I went through the procedure and I grew something called I think it's stenotronophona monas. Very hard word to say, stenotronophona monas. I'm pretty crap with pseudomonas. So yeah, I got a phone call a few weeks later saying, try this antibiotic. So I tried the tablet form of it, and I didn't feel like I was getting it much better. So I told my specialist, and he said, "Right, I'm going to get you a bed, and then we're gonna do this format, but in an IV therapy. So it's going to be a lot stronger. It's going to be getting in the bloodstream." So what happened is, I don't know why, but I got an allergic reaction to the IV medication. So they had me on it for about a week, and then they wanted to step me down from it because my body was giving up, basically. I had to have a catheter. I had to, get pumped with antihistamines. My specialist rang Wivenshaw Lung Hospital and asked them, "What do you do in this case scenario for life-saving treatment?" And there's only one medication that treats Stenotrophona monas, which was the one I was on. Lucky for me, because I had a week of it in tablet format and I had a week of IVs, it killed it. It killed it. Had it not killed it, it would have killed me. Let me tell you, it would have killed me, because when he told me he's speaking to Wivenshaw for life-saving treatment, you don't hear them words. You don't hear them words much. So that's why they send you for a bronchoscopy. So like I say, take scrapes, and with a bronchoscopy as well, you've got it under your belt. So say for instance you're under home intravenous medication, and then the system changes, which they're always changing. So they say, right, we're not going to treat this person because her sample or his sample shown up negative, regional flori, no bacteria grown. They can go off the recent bronchoscopy or even go back to 5 years ago and say, "Well, one minute, when we did a bronchoscopy on this person, they showed a colonization of Pseudomonas, they shown reaction to mold in the air, mold exposure, which is a big one. They can also find probably asbestos, which I've not mentioned, and then they can say this and this." So based on your microbiology medication that she's been on for 10 years, an absolute disgrace of an NHS, absolutely disgrace of just the way things are going. So I'm going to end it on that note, guys. Does exercise help? Yeah, I'll answer that question before I go. Of course it does, mate. Of course it does. But what you've got to take into consideration is, what exercise levels can you get to? By exercising, are you suppressing the immune system? What I found out through exercise, your cardiovascular, which they talk a lot, will probably bring your immune system down. One minute, I'm getting a phone call. It will bring your immune system down a lot quicker than, say, for instance, a strength training program. Because as long as you're doing a strength training program that isn't overexerting yourself and you're having lots of rest, you're doing your medication, you're doing your pulmonary physio, you're taking your antibiotics, you're eating good food, you're sleeping the best you can, I believe is probably the key, the key to fighting this disease. Do I think running, sweating, having a damp t-shirt on you for an hour is is doing anything good for you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And thank you very much, Nocturne. Yeah, research having clothes on for a long period of time. There was a boxing trainer who's a very big boxing trainer. It was called Peter Fiore, and he used to train Tyson Fury. And obviously, if you don't know about boxing, I'll tell you. So they have like a padding, obviously. So they've got the t-shirt on like this, and then they have padded sparring equipment, so the fighter can punch the belly, the chest, and when these trainers are training, sometimes they're training fighters for 2, 3, 4 hours, and sometimes they're training them in very cold climates or cold environments, such as a old mill, like a gym with an old mill, no heating. And what's happening is because the t-shirt's been on the person's body, damp, they can run into all sorts from pneumonia to pleurisy, which is chest pain. And one of my specialists told me he actually spoken to Peter Fiore, who battled, and I've spoken to Peter Fiore as well, and he's gone on YouTube and a YouTuber and a boxing blog, and he spoke about it. So what I can say is, guys, do your strength training. If you can't lift weights, do some resistance training, some body press ups, count, kitchen counters. You don't have to be full blown, and just build your level up, okay, and take it slowly, and only do this if you're not feeling poorly. I wouldn't suggest if you've got chest pain or you run down to go and exercise. I'd tell you to go and rest. On that note, love yous, leave yous, take care.